Hey y'all, it's Jamila, the creator of Color Me Crafty, and I'm back with another tutorial. This is a laser cutting tutorial, and I'm actually going to show you how to make this keychain right inside the Lightburn software. You can make them say anything you want. The process will still be the same. The mirrored acrylic is from Craft Closet brand, and I'll drop a link for that just in case you want to get it. I actually bought a bundle of, I think, damaged acrylic, and this one was perfect except for a little bit on the edges, and I thought it was a perfect one to make me a little keychain. So I'll link everything below. Before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the little bell notifications. And if you're not new, welcome back. Let's get into it. Go ahead and type out your text. And the next thing we're going to do is choose a font for this text. And I have tons of fonts that are downloaded to my computer, a lot of commercial use fonts. Barley is one of my favorites, but I'm going to try to find something different than Barley today. All right, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to choose, I think it's Charm. But I'm going to make it a little bigger right now, and welded is already toggled on, but if it wasn't, it would cut these as separates or whatever. It's not going to matter as much because this part is going to be engraved. So I'm going to re-weld that, and then I want everything to be a little bit closer together. So I'm going to change the H space, and up takes it further apart, and then the down arrow brings it in closer together. Now that is too close. As you can see the swoosh or whatever to the O. So let's go ahead and move it apart just a little bit, and that's fine. So this is going to be a fill line, and then we're going to offset it. We're using a rose gold acrylic from the Craft Closet for this project, so we wanted to cut and then engrave. There's a couple other things that you can do. We can bold it, if that's something you can do with this text. You can make it italic, which I think we're going to leave it that way, and then you can make it all uppercase too. So the next step is to go up here to tools, and we want to offset shapes. So I need to choose my offset. You can do outward, inward, or both, which I don't want to do both. I want to do outward. You can do round, bevel, or corner. That didn't change much of anything. And then I'm not real sure what these settings are for. So we'll just toggle them on and off and see if it changes anything. It doesn't. So, and then you can change the size of your offset, and I want a pretty nice size offset. So we're going to just do a half offset distance. So I want this layer to be a different color, so we're just going to change that, and it is going to be a line, so we're going to change that to a line. So the next step is we need to grab a circle, and you want to hold down shift when you're using your circle, because otherwise you end up with a weird oval or whatever. So we're going to make a circle, and I'm going to move it in to see if that's about the size that I want. It is. Now you need a second circle, and this circle is actually going to be a 1/4 inch by by a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to take these two circles, put them together, and that one actually can probably be a little bit smaller. So I want to center these two circles. So select them both and go up here to align V center and then align H center. And I am going to delete the front or subtract one shape from another. All right, from here, we want to weld everything together. So with all of our black lines selected, I'm just going to go over here and click weld all selected shapes together. And that gives us our little key ring thing. Now, another way we could have done this was to just weld these two outside shapes and then leave that circle the way it is. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then the last step is going to be to resize everything. And we don't want a super huge keychain, so we're going to go with a width of maybe 3.5 inches. Now our last step is to flip this because we wanted to cut mirrored, because this is going to engrave the inner part and then cut the outer part. I just realized I should have resized before I welded all that together, because we need that 1/4 inch circle. So I'm going to go back and get all of that separated. Then I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to take this down to my 3.5 inches. Now, let's group these together. Now I need to adjust. I'm not sure why I thought a 1/4, or why I said a 1/4 inch. It's supposed to be an 1/8 inch. So we're going to go 3 mm here. And with Lightburn, you can type in whatever unit of measurement you want to use, and then it'll convert for you. So now I'm going to make this one smaller, much smaller, and then I want to center these. So I'm going to grab them both and then V align center and H align. So, and then group them. That way my alignment isn't off. So the next step is going to be to attach it to mom. And I'm going to go back up here and ungroup and ungroup. And then I'm just going to select the two outside lines and click on weld, and there's our keychain. So I'm going to group everything back together, and then lastly, because we want this to be a mirrored design, I want to flip the whole thing. And we're using a mirrored acrylic, so we want it to show through to the front. Step is to choose our settings. So I am going to keep the speed at 325, and I'm changing my max power to 35 and my minimum power to 35. And now we're ready to cut. Have everything set up and ready to go. We're using the Craft Closet Rose Gold, like I told you. And we're actually going to print on this side. You want to keep it, it has a protective film on it, and you want to keep that on until you're all done with the cut. I got this from a bundle. It was like a damaged bundle, and I would definitely order again. There, as you can see, it's just some like some damage around the edges. I always like to frame my job before I go in and cut, just to make sure that I have everything set to where it needs to be. And I can actually move this. I'm going to move that down just a touch. And that way I'm not wasting a whole lot of material. And then next, I am going to check my focal height. And I'm going to leave it just a little bit defocused. And that's to try to get smoother lines. And now we can cut. All right, all done. Let's see what we got. I'm actually going to try to remove this without moving anything. So here's what we have. And you can still see some lines in there. I'm going to have to work on my engrave a little bit. Last step is to get it cleaned up. So to finish this up, you're going to need some kind of weeding tool, a keychain, and a toothbrush with some water. You can use an old toothbrush. I just bought these from the Dollar Tree. And you also need a paper towel. So I'm just going to take the toothbrush and get all of the acrylic dust out of the keychain. And use a paper towel to dry it up. And the very last thing you want to do is take off the plastic. So I'm actually going to add my little foofball before I remove the plastic. And there it is. And the plastic's still on, and it's just a very thin film. And there is our final mom keychain. How adorable is that? So what did you think? Easy enough, right? If this video was helpful, go ahead and drop me a comment below. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button too. Thanks for watching.